Hi there, this is Wendy Down with your Consciousness Playground recording for Tuesday, June the 5th, 2012. This is the second in our Future of Aging series, and this recording is called The Future of Aging Number 2, Experience Non-Age. In this series, we are stepping completely off the timeline. And as we do that, we're experimenting with ways of experiencing ourselves and expressing ourselves in daily life that makes the concept of age, whether we're young or old or somewhere in between, completely irrelevant. Every time, like on this recording, that we're able to completely step off that timeline and experience ourselves as ageless, or in a state where age is completely irrelevant, we have a much clearer picture of the framework of age that we normally exist within, and we have much more choice in terms of how we interact with the concept of age. We can have a completely new relationship to age and the idea of age, and much more choice about how we relate to age and express age in our daily lives. And it's a new way for most of us of relating to our future, relating to potential, and seeing places within ourselves that we've unconsciously held ourselves back or limited ourselves because of ideas we've bought into about how our age limits what we are capable of. On this recording, therefore, I really want to take you directly into a dimension or place within yourself where you already live as ageless. It's a place within you where it's strange to even consider the idea of age. It's a place where when you try and take the concept of age there, it doesn't fit and it seems odd or peculiar or, like I said, irrelevant. And so on this recording, I really want to give you a very direct and full experience of that part. And it's simply a matter of redirecting your attention there. And that's where I'm going to guide you. To do that, the best place to start is by bringing into awareness something that's currently an age-related issue for you. For example, let me put it to you this way in the form of a question maybe. And the question might be, what aspect of your life is currently limited, or what expression of yourself is currently limited by your age? So let me say that again, and you may actually want to stop the recording for a minute and answer that question for yourself as fully as you can, because the more complete you're able to answer that question and clarify a place in your life where your life or your self-expression is limited by your age, the better you'll be able to see the shift that you make as a result of the exercise I'm going to lead you through. So again, the question you're currently answering is, where in my life is my age or my perception of age limiting my expression or what I believe I'm capable of? Where is it holding me back? And this again is as relevant for someone who is, say, 16 years old and feels that their wisdom or what they have to share in the world is limited because they feel too young. In the same way that someone who might be 80, while they're at the other end of the age spectrum, is held back in exactly the same way simply because of relating to a timeline as being something that's relevant. And this could fall in any area of your life. It could influence what you feel you're capable of physically. You may have bought into ideas that natural decline just happens to your body over time, and you have to expect that you're not going to rebound or heal or be capable of physical things as you were at a different age. It could be your career, or how much energy you're able to put into some form of creative expression or relationship. You just want to choose one. And once you have that area identified, I now want you to turn your attention from the thought of that to your physical body. And let your attention drift downwards into your body and just sense the aliveness in your physical body. There's a quality of vibrancy that you might locate, perhaps first of all, say in your hands. Just feel for the aliveness in your hands. It might feel like a slightly buzzing sensation. And as I'll just throw this in here now as I describe that, there's a place between you and I where we are entangled, to use a term from quantum physics. So just like, again, to use the analogy of a hand, you might be a finger, I might be a thumb, other listeners might be different fingers. There's a place in our being where we are not separate, like the palm or the back of the hand. We're not used to relating to each other in this way, but it's actually the truth of the way that we are built, the fabric out of which we're built, that there's a common place where you and I are entangled together. And right now, as you put your attention on feeling for the aliveness in your physical body, I have my attention on the aliveness in my physical body as well. And that aliveness is actually a place that we share. In other words, on the quantum level, you and I, as you feel that aliveness in you, I feel that aliveness in you. And right now, as I draw your attention to it and as I feel it in myself, I actually am able to magnify it and you are as well, and heighten your experience of it. This level of quantum connection, if you're not familiar with it, actually forms the basis of the new types of healing modalities that are starting to come in. They're the basis of miracle type healings. And they're the future of consciousness medicine that's just starting to make its way into our Western culture. If you were in the consciousness playground in recent months, we actually explored this whole area under the heading of quantum health, which is a series that, if you haven't experienced that with us here, will be released as an e-program that you can still access later. But as I'm speaking words and explaining some of this to you, to your conscious mind to follow, you may notice that your body, as you keep your attention there, is starting to feel a little bit different. And you don't need to define the differences. You might be finding it easier just to keep your attention on your body as opposed to in your mind. You may be starting to feel a little bit less solid. If this is the first time you've experienced anything like this, it might be a little bit unnerving. And let me assure you that you are actually in complete control of what you experience here. Not consciously, but unconsciously, you'll put the brakes on how much you allow yourself to experience this. It won't go beyond your comfort zone. And in fact, if you do want to have an experience that goes beyond your comfort zone, what often happens is that suddenly you'll zonk out. Your conscious mind will go offline so that your consciousness, which extends so far beyond your conscious mind, so that your consciousness can have an experience, a larger experience, without your conscious mind translating or following along. And that's why I always make the transcripts for these recordings, because so many people conk out at some point, and then later you can go back and read the transcript and hear what I said, if you want to do that. Right now, though, even though I'm speaking words, my attention is mostly on that quantum entangled state that you and I share. And what I want you to notice is that as you continue to feel for simply the aliveness in your body, this dimension of yourself has no age. As I said at the top of the recording, the place I wanted to take you to was a place in yourself where age seemed irrelevant. And so let me show you that just as we begin this. Sense the aliveness in your body, just in your hands if you want to, or by now you may actually have it quite highlighted in other places in your body or throughout your body. It may be very subtle, or it may be very, very powerful. Just let it be what it is without trying to make it more than what it currently is. And notice that the only thing that's relevant is to feel for how much aliveness is there. If you try and introduce the idea of I am an age, maybe say that, maybe say even out loud, I am, and say your age. Notice what happens. And let it be whatever it is. You may notice some disruption in the aliveness. You may notice a part of your body kind of goes tight or gets constricted. There may be an actual physical sensation or an emotional sensation in your body. And again, let's try that again. Sense the aliveness in your body. In a minute, I'm going to put some words to what that actually is. That will feel wonderful to you. But for now, you're just feeling the aliveness and the pleasure of it. Feel the pleasure of focusing on and really highlighting the aliveness in your body. And then say to yourself, I am whatever age. And this second time, it might actually feel a bit different when you do that. It may or it may not. You're just playing here. This is what we do in the consciousness playground. We play within our own consciousness. So there's no right or wrong here. We're just becoming aware on a conscious level of some of the unconscious habits that we have. And we're stepping into new experiences that we haven't stepped into before. So let's move on from that for a minute. That was just a little piece to play with. And now I want to describe more of what that aliveness in your body that you're sensing, and which is pleasurable, what that really is. You know that you have millions, trillions of individual cells in your body. Every single one of those cells is directly tapped into the source of life, the source of all existence. In some people's language, it's called all that is. Your cells have a direct pipeline into the source of life. And the aliveness that you sense is your cells teeming with the energy of life coursing through them. In fact, as I describe it that way, you may notice that the sensation of that aliveness increases. And you can deliberately feel more of it simply by inviting more of it to become expressed in your experience. In other words, if you're willing to feel even more aliveness in your body, simply intend for that to happen. Open up the door, or in other words, be sure that you're willing. Take off any brakes that you have on that limit how much of that you let yourself feel. Let go of the control a little bit. And if there's more of it to be experienced, let yourself experience it. The amazing thing about putting your attention here and allowing yourself to experience the aliveness in your body, the quantumness of your being, is that as you let yourself go there, you, on a conscious level, reconnect with the timelessness of you. This aspect of you is eternal. unending. There's never going to be a time, ever, when this aliveness is not part of your future experience. The physical form may change, but you, as alive and conscious, continue completely uninterrupted, regardless of the physical form. And in fact, if you want to experience that a little bit right now, you may notice if you feel what your body feels like right now, it actually doesn't feel as solid as it normally does. In other words, it may actually feel more like energy than matter. Or you may notice that the boundaries between where you are and where everything else, where you stop and where everything else begins, is blurred. Or extended or expanded out. And that's because on this timeless dimension, which is just as real as your experience of being in a physical body, maybe just not at the forefront of your attention all the time like it is now. On this level, you extend out everywhere in all directions with no end. And you may be able to, simply by putting your attention out beyond where you think you end, you'll notice that you are also there as well. Just on a personal note, I have practiced this so diligently and with such pleasure over the past 10 years that I have absolutely no limits ever between myself and everything else. In fact, I mostly can't even sense a physical body except when I use my senses to touch it. There's a degree of wholeness, wellness, connection, utter well-being that completely permeates me and actually at this moment you. And it's always there. Always. Always has been, always will be. And all we're doing right now is focusing into that so that it's magnified. Now, as you do that, you may become aware of parts of your body where that's not the case. You feel a pain or something uncomfortable. But as we practice in the Quantum Health series, you can also feel just for the space within that, and you'll notice it changes as well. As you keep your attention on this eternal, timeless, spaceless, boundless dimension of yourself, notice how completely irrelevant the notion of age is again. How can you put a number to this? If you can, I'd be interested to know. And as you keep your attention focused into this timeless, boundless, vibrating, alive, more foundational state. This is a more accurate reflection of who and what you really are. Pure consciousness focused into a present moment experience. Let's see what happens if you bring into awareness that issue or challenge or event in your life that it seemed before was limited by your age. Bring it to mind again, whatever it was. Bring it into this dimension. In other words, bring the thought of that situation not into your mind, but into your body, into the aliveness, pure vibrating consciousness, the quantum field that's highlighted here in you as you. And let it just sit there. And without needing to figure anything out, just notice what's different. What's different about it now? What's different about it here? And it's okay if you get kicked out of your body and into your mind. If you do that, just bring your attention back down into your body, into the aliveness, into the entangled quantum state that contains all intelligence, all information, all access to unlimited information and potential. And give it some time. And from here, entertain the thought of what's possible in that area, in that aspect of your life from here. What's new in here, from here, that wasn't possible or obvious before? What emotional feelings get stirred when you consider that scenario from this timeless, eternal, unending presence that you really are, beyond the physical body, beyond the limits, or even the idea or concept of age? What could you bring into expression from here, from this enormous, unlimited vastness of you? What could you bring forward if you were to dare? If you had the courage to express it? Even if you've never seen anyone do it or express it at your age before. And if you have a piece of paper or pen in front of you, I would encourage you to write it down. And let the writing of the thought or the potential be the first expression in physical form of the potential for that lies within you. And then to the degree that you're willing, once this recording is done, and the heightenedness of this quantum state, this aliveness, that's faded perhaps somewhat. I challenge you to keep taking steps, keep taking actions to actually bring that, whatever it was, whatever it is, into expression. Understanding that you are not given a potential or a dream or a possibility without also having all the support that you need in order to do so. So let me see what else there is I want to say before I close this off and leave you with that challenge or invitation. I certainly invite you, if you want to express it in written form as a comment on the webpage where this recording appears. That can be your brave, bold move as well. And know that there are others, so many others like you, that are braving new frontiers, reaching beyond limits that we never knew we could reach beyond, but which we can. And there's so much more to say about the ageless, timeless, quantum nature of you, but I will save that for future recordings. And I thank you for being in this exploration with me. Bye for now.